Welcome to our channel. Today, we bring you an extraordinary story of resilience, determination, and courage. If you enjoy stories that inspire, uplift, and leave a lasting impact, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. In the remote village of Makhado, surrounded by rolling hills and the whisper of ancient trees, lived a 16-year-old girl named Lindiwe. Her story is not just of a dream, but of the incredible journey to make it a reality. Lindiwe's village had no library, no space where young minds could explore the world beyond their dusty paths. The only books were worn textbooks shared among students, and even those were scarce. But Lindiwe loved stories. She craved the knowledge hidden in the pages of books, the adventures that whisked her away from the hardships of her daily life. Her family struggled to make ends meet. Her mother was a street vendor, selling vegetables by the roadside. Every day under the blazing sun or pouring rain, she would set up her small stall, her hands red and chapped, her back bent from carrying heavy bags. Her father had left them years ago, and the weight of survival rested on her mother's tired shoulders. Lindiwe helped her mother after school, packing and unpacking the vegetables, calling out to passers-by to buy fresh produce, but her heart was always with her books, small borrowed treasures she kept hidden in a tin box under her bed. She read by candlelight, her eyes squinting in the dim glow, imagining a world where stories were not just whispers, but a chorus of voices calling out to her. One day, while helping her mother at the market, Lindiwe overheard a conversation about old, unused books stored at a nearby school in the city. She felt a spark ignite within her. She could bring those books to her village, create a library, a place where every child could find solace in stories. But the path was not easy. The community was skeptical. Many elders saw no use in books when daily survival was the priority. A library won't fill empty stomachs, they said. Some even accused her of being foolish, of dreaming too big for a girl with nothing. Her own boyfriend, Sizwe, who she thought would support her, turned against her. "You're wasting your time, Lindiwe," he scoffed. "You need to focus on real work, not stories." His words hurt more than the villagers' doubts. They had been together for 2 years, but now his bitterness and jealousy became clear. He would show up unannounced, making scenes in public, trying to control her every move. His love turned into a snake that coiled around her dreams, suffocating them slowly. But Lindiwe was not one to back down. She walked miles to the city school, only to be turned away by the gatekeeper. She returned day after day, standing in the hot sun, her feet blistered, her voice hoarse from pleading. Finally, a kind teacher took notice and allowed her to take as many books as she could carry. With nothing but a worn backpack, Lindiwe hauled the books back to her village, one trip at a time. When she began setting up her makeshift library under a large baobab tree, the challenges grew. The first night, a storm came. Rain soaked the books, turning pages to mush. Her heart broke as she held the ruined stories in her hands. But instead of giving up, she dried the remaining books and started again. Her boyfriend, Sizwe, seeing her determination, tried to sabotage her. He spread rumors, told the elders she was bringing bad spirits into the village through the books. He went as far as burning a pile of books while she slept. Lindiwe woke to the smell of smoke, her dreams smoldering in ash, but the fire in her heart burned hotter. Her mother, initially reluctant, became her greatest ally. She started setting aside a few coins from her vegetable sales to buy more books. They built a small shelter with donated materials, and slowly children began to gather. At first they came for the novelty, but they stayed for the stories. Lindiwe read to them, her voice carrying hope on every word. When the villagers saw the change in their children, how they spoke with confidence, how they dreamed of futures beyond the hills, they began to understand. The same elders who had doubted her came to help build shelves, to donate what little they could. The library under the baobab tree blossomed, but a new threat emerged. A government official named Mr. Makhado arrived, claiming to support community initiatives. He wore sharp suits and drove a sleek car, his smile hiding sharp teeth. At first, he offered Lindiwe funds and resources to expand her library, but his help came with a price. When Lindiwe refused his advances, his demeanor shifted. He threatened to shut down the library, claiming it was not compliant with government regulations. He spread rumors, whispered to the elders that Lindiwe was exploiting the children, that the books were inappropriate. Lindiwe felt the walls closing in. The children were turned away, the doors of the library forced shut. But she would not be silenced. She gathered evidence, recorded his threats, and approached a local journalist. The story broke wide open. Headlines screamed of corruption, of a predator using his power to oppress a young girl with a dream. Mr. Makhado's world unraveled. His wife, a well-known philanthropist from the suburbs, left him. His job crumbled beneath the weight of the scandal, and the very community he had tried to manipulate turned against him. The library reopened, stronger than ever. Donations poured in, and Lindiwe became a symbol of hope, not just for her village, but for many who had been silenced by those in power. Her story became a rallying cry, a reminder that even in the darkest times, truth and resilience could light the way. Years later, as Lindiwe stood before a crowd, now a librarian and a teacher, she spoke not only of books, but of the power of believing in oneself when the world says otherwise. She had built more than a library. She had built a future. If you were inspired by Lindiwe's story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales of courage and resilience. Until next time, keep the flame of hope burning. Hope